There was nothing there at all. As I visited there over the next few years, it became very dense. Office buildings, residential communities, everything one can think of. From April 2014 until I left in November 2018, so I was there for about 4.5 years, was Zhengzhou. It's an enormous city. It's not as big as Beijing, but it still had 10 million city population then, and it was expanding at a very rapid rate, and because of its location in the center of China, becoming a huge logistics center and a big hub for the high-speed rail network. From when I first went to China, it was kind of being launched. Of course, by the time I left, it was very much in place. And that was very interesting too, to see its impact on travel and particularly on our hotels, because it gave people much easier access to hotels for leisure and for business, and greatly assisted our hotel development. When I first went there, the part of the city where I was still, in some respects, not fully developed. But over time, the development process had actually moved north of the current CBD, where they're building a new CBD and increasing the population by about 30% over the next 2 years. Absolutely extraordinary. So that was a very interesting time, witnessing a lot of change. Because I was there for nearly 5 years, I witnessed a lot of change through the eyes of the hotel, where the first people that used to stay there were mainly government people. We were actually opposite the provincial headquarters of the Henan government. By the time I left, there was a much higher corporate presence. The business community was getting bigger by the day. China is such a wonderful place, is a very dynamic place. I recall when I left Beijing and went to Qingdao for the first time I flew there, the airport was in quite a remote rural area. It was in the middle of kind of fields. This would have been around April 2009. I was there 18 months before going to Taiwan. But over the years, I used to visit Qingdao now and again. I was surprised how quickly the area between the airport and what had been the perimeter of the city actually filled up with businesses, hotels, shops, a whole community. The airport was new and had been built or been upgraded because of the 2008, the Maritime Olympics. All the sailing and everything was held in Qingdao. So that was very impressive. I saw that in another way with the high-speed rail network. And that was really astonishing how quickly that happened. In Taiwan, the high-speed station came there only in probably 2012-13, around there, and the lines weren't fully opened up to other parts of China for another couple of years. And that was really in the middle of pastures, in the middle of farmland. There was nothing there at all. As I visited there over the next few years, it became very dense. Office buildings, residential communities, everything one can think of. When I did my sort of farewell tour, I toured around the places I'd worked in China in September 2018 before I came back. And I was astonished at what I saw when I went to Taiwan that last time. So that must mean also the population of the urban areas was growing. It was wonderful to see. And that's one of the reasons why I'd like to go back to a couple of the places. I'd like to go back to Zhengzhou to see how the new city is getting on, and Taiwan as well, for all the parts of the old city, some of which had been completely demolished. While I was there, they were being demolished, to see how they've been reconstructed. But that was really exceptional to see how quickly things can happen. 我非常高兴和你们分享我在中国的故事。